Hey everyone, before we begin the video, I just want to quickly announce a giveaway that I'm currently running. This is because we hit my goal of 1K subs before the end of July. I have a video on how to enter, and so I'll post the link to that video both in the description below, as well as tag it at the end of this video. And so I'm giving away the Luffy Will Be King Dawn set, my NBA collab cards, and more prizing. And so make sure to check it out. You have until August 16th at 11:59 p.m. EST to enter. And so don't miss out on this giveaway. It's going to be a lot of fun, and there's going to be a lot of cool stuff for you. And so, yeah, thanks for watching. Back to the video. Hey everyone, it's Adakai TCG here, and I'm coming at you guys with another video. I'm going to be doing a series of videos where I'm featuring deck profiles for some of the more non-meta leaders that I do think are fun and may have some viability within the 07 meta. This has been one of the most diverse metas we've seen since the start of the game, and so yeah, I think there's just so many underexplored leaders, and so I'm trying to take some time to explore the decks, try to make a deck list and see how they fare against some of the meta decks as well as some of the non-meta decks as well. And so we are first going to be starting with Red-Black Sabo. This leader has been one of my favorite leaders since release. I really think his leader ability is quite strong. I felt that way about Red Purple Kid too. We'll get back to him in a future video, but anyway, this Sabo, his leader effect reads Dawn ×1. On your opponent's turn, once per turn, if one of your characters with 5,000 power or more were to be KO'd, you may instead give that character power minus 1,000 for the turn. So he prevents one instance of KO flat. And so the really cool thing about this too is, say there is someone playing the 8-drop Sabo or a 4-drop Lucci, which KOs 2 targets at once. This leader ability actually lets you prevent both instances because it's a simultaneous instance of the KO. And so your characters, both of them that they were trying to remove, will be safe. They'll just have their power reduced by 1,000 as long as they were a 5,000 power character or more. And so very, very cool effect. I think it would have been quite strong if we didn't see such a heavy bottom decking meta from Sakazuki. So this leader never really quite had its chance to shine. But now with the ban of Sakazuki, I do think that there is some viability to this leader. And so I do have a deck list here, and then we'll go over it. And I do have some gameplay as well. But in a very KO heavy meta, this leader just lets your characters stick, which brings so much value in the attrition game and just in the long run. And so where he does lack though is he is a multicolored red-black, meaning yeah, he only has 4 life, which makes him quite squishy. And so if you're unable to find your pieces that'll help you live while you develop your board, he does tend to suffer in those matchups as well. And so with that being said, let's get right into it. So first we have 3 copies of the 4-drop 5k Kid and Killer. This is a rush card, and when attacking, if your opponent has 2 or less life cards, this character gains plus 2,000 power until the end of the turn. I think we'll be seeing this card in every red deck. It's just way too much value. 4-drop for a 7k body as long as the opponent has 2 life. With rush is just, yeah, it's just too good. And so this card gains its most value later on and towards the end of the game when you need just these extra swings. And he's a really good finisher. And so we are running that at 3 copies, not 4, because this deck list is really tight with everything we want to put into it. And so we have it at 3 for now. Can go up in the future after some more playtesting. But we also are running 4 copies of the 1-drop Otama. She is your 1-cost 0k power, but she's a 2k counter, and on play you get to give up to one of your opponent's characters minus 2,000 power for the turn. We do run quite a bit of cost reduction in the, or not cost, power reduction in this deck. both because we have things that'll be able to KO based off of power, but also because similarly to if you play Red Purple Law, if you reduce power, you're able to swing into those bodies more easily, and then on the crackback, your opponent has less characters, this crackback, and then Sabo also has his leader ability to protect one instance of KO, and that's even including battle, and so very hard to trade with Sabo. And so that's why we are running the cost reduction, but we are also running some events and characters that'll KO based off of power too, and so really good 2K. We are running the Revolutionary Army package. I think just being able to cheat out and develop a wide board is really valuable for Sabo in that he is quite a squishy leader if you can't find your blockers in time and develop them quickly enough and have them stick. And so another way to mitigate that is actually going a little bit wider and threatening lethal and just board control. And so we are running 3 copies of the 4-drop 5k power Emporio Ivankov. He does have a 1k counter, so he's not dead in hand, but his activate main is once per turn if this character has 7,000 or more power. You can play up to 1 Revolutionary Army type character other than Emporio Ivankov with 5,000 power or less. So you're hitting basically every other Revolutionary Army card except for Dragon, which we'll get to in the future. And so this is a very strong card. You're able to just play out an extra body, it's taking 2,000 power more commitment or 2,000 Dawn more commitment. And so there are ways that we can also cheat out and recycle our Dawn with this ability with this deck. And so, yeah, it gets a lot of value. We are running 4 copies of Karasu. This card is so good at trading. Him being a 4-cost 5k body himself, the 1k counter. On play, if your leader's type is Revolutionary Army, give up to one of your opponent's leader characters minus 1,000 power during this turn. So on play, you get a minus 1,000 power reduction to even the leader, which is very strong. But again, it doesn't have to always be the leader. You can put it on a character too if you want to swing into it, or you need it to fall into a certain threshold to KO. And then when attacking, he gets a similar ability. If this character has 7,000 power or more, give up to one of your opponent's leader or characters minus 1,000 power during this turn. And so, yeah, being able to reduce your opponent's leader by 1,000 while you develop a wide board is just too much value, right? And so a 5k leader falling to a 4k leader means that they need to commit 2ks to even just a 5k swing to get out of it. And so really good value, really good at trading. We are running 4 copies of Koala. This card is so good. It's a 2-cost 3k power. It's a 2k counter, so it's one of your defensive cards. But on play, if your leader has a Revolutionary type Army tag, give up to one of your opponents minus 3,000 power for this turn. And so the 2Ks in this deck are all quite valuable. I do tend to drop them down as well. And so, yeah, we're running this at 4 copies, just giving something minus 3,000 power. Will just help you swing into it, right? And so, very good card. We're running that 4 of. We are running 2 copies of the Chaka. He's the OP07 Alabaster Kingdom card. He's a 5-cost 6k power, meaning Sabo will be able to protect this character. He does have a 1k counter, so he's not dead in hand. But Dawn times 1, you can activate main once per turn. Give up to 2 rested Dawn cards to your leader or one of your characters. So already you can probably see the synergies of this deck. When you drop down a Chaka, you can just attach 1 Dawn, and that very same turn, you can give 2 rested Dawn to, say, an Emporio Ivankov, who then will be able to cheat out a body like Karasu, or even later on we'll go over Morley and Lindbergh. But again, yeah, he's just able to give 2 rested Dawn cards to one of your characters, meaning you're able to cycle it. And again, you can give it to your Sabo as well if you want to make his leader ability active. And so we are doing a ton of Dawn recycling in this deck, and there are just a ton of synergies you can do. Another character you can give 2 rested Dawn to is the Morley, right? Because Morley is a 3-cost 5k power body. Unfortunately, he doesn't have any counter, but when attacking, if this character has 7,000 or more power, your opponent cannot activate blockers during this battle. And so even then, you know, being at a 5k, the 2 Restodon you get from Chaka can push him to 7k and activate that when attacking ability. He also does have a trigger that you may trash 1 card. If your leader is multicolored, play this card. So it's another body that you can cheat out from life early on if you get that trigger, right? And so it does come up in some of the games too. And yeah, it's just going wide with this board that you're able to just very easily protect with Sabo makes this deck pretty strong. We are running 4 copies of the Lindbergh. He's a 4-cost 5k Revolutionary Army character. Another body that can be cheated out by the Emporio Ivankov. But yeah, so he's 1k counter, so he's not dead in hands. But when attacking, if this character has 7,000 or more power, KO up to one of your opponent's characters with 3,000 power or less. And again, he has the same trigger as Morley, where if your leader is multicolored, you can discard a card and play this card out. And so, again, being able to cheat out these bodies, really, really strong. And he's also a great target for Chaka to recycle onto as well, because you can KO things like a Rebecca. You can pair it with a Koala and KO up to a 6k now. And so, yeah, very, very strong card. Really cool tech you can also do is I've had a Lindbergh on the board, and we'll go over it in the future, but you can Fire Fist and make a Basil Hawkins, drop down below to 3,000 power, and then Lindbergh just swings and KOs the Basil Hawkins with no one else to turn. That Basil's removed. And so he does have some play into the green matchup as well. And so, yeah, very strong card. Very good synergies with Sabo. We are running 4 copies of the 8-drop SR Dragon. This card is really, really high value. It's the boss monster that Red needed, and they finally got in 07. And so, for those of you who aren't too familiar, he's an 8-cost 9k body with Rush. And on play, give your leader or up to one of your characters 2 Rested Dawn. And so again, that being 2 Dawn, you are making your Emporio Ivankov ability active, your Karasu active, your Morley active, or your Lindbergh active, or just giving it straight to Sabo, which enables his leader ability. So he has so much synergy. This is the card that just enables the kit, and dropping it on curve if you have these bodies established just makes it even crazier, right? So if you had Emporio Ivankov and say like a Lindbergh out, and then you played a Chaka, then your 8th Dawn turn you can drop Dragon, give 2 Dawn to Emporio Ivankov, who can cheat out another body, and then Chaka can also, you know, give Lindbergh 2 extra Rested Dawn to activate his ability. But I guess you would have needed to establish something like a Nami, which we'll get into right now, which is the 1-drop, 1k power. Does have 1k counter, so it's not dead in hand, but she has an activate main once per turn. Give up to 1 Rested Dawn character, Dawn to a leader or character. And so this won't have much value in the black matchups, but every other matchup it'll have really, really good value. So just establishing this on the board means that no matter what, your Sabo leader ability will always be active. And so, or your Chaka ability will always be active, right? And so, very good card that ties into both the leader as well as some of the characters. We are running it at a 4 of because we do kind of want to see it, and that's one of our very few early turn plays. And so, yeah, very, very good card. But again, just kind of suffers in the black matchup. We are running quite a few blockers. Wish I could fit more in here, but for now we have 3 copies of Hina. So this card is really good in Sabo, who is, again, quite squishy. So being a 5-cost 6k body, get that 6k is pretty nice because you're going to be blocking 5k swings for free. And she has 1k counter, so it's not dead in hands. And she's has an ability that on block, you can choose up to one of your opponent's characters with a cost of 6 or less that chosen character cannot attack during this turn. And so, if Sabo's leader ability is active, plus Hina can block 6-cost character or less from attacking, that is 2 instances of attacks that you are negating. Basically, one from Hina, preventing the attack, and one from Sabo, preventing a KO after a block. And so, very, very good. We are running it at a 3 of for now. I may choose to bump it to 4. The reason why I didn't, though, is because I did want to have a blocker on the even curve, which we are running 2 copies of the 4-drop Borsalino. What he does, he's a 4-cost 5k body with a 1k counter, but on the opponent's turn, this character gains 1000 power and cannot be KO'd by effects. And so he's a 6k blocker on the opponent's turn and will not be KO'd by effects, in addition to being able to be protected by Sabo. And so, very strong card. I wish I could even make this a 3 of, but again, this deck list is quite tight, and we are running it a 2 of for now. We're running 3 copies of the 5-drop Sabo. He's the 5-cost 6k blocker Sabo with a 1k counter, and he lets you draw 2, trash 2 from your hands, and then makes everything on your board immune to KO. And so, if you did want to combo it, you can combo it with the Nami, then the Sabo, preventing a KO, meaning your Nami will survive 1 extra turn, which could make a difference in a lot of matchups. And so, very strong card. We're running it a 3 of, and it gives you hand cycle, which is always valuable. We are running 2 copies of Roundtable because it's an experimental card that I'm kind of still testing around with, but man, the more games I play with this, the more I actually just love this card. There's a lot of things now, like the 8-drop Kid, a lot of big boss monsters coming out, even like the Moria. If you're able to just round table, Lindbergh KOs everything. And so, yeah, because there's nothing with over 13k power, right? Or 12k power, rather. And so, this is just your, hey, I don't care that you summoned a boss monster, I'm getting rid of it card. And so we are running at a 2 of. Yeah, and if you look at the cost breakdowns of this deck, the reason why it kind of makes a lot of sense in this deck is you're playing a lot of 4 and 5 costs, meaning you will, by the end of the game, have 5 Don remaining if you've summoned a character. And so pairing it, this higher cost event, seems kind of not as bad. And so our only big monster that we are playing is the dragon, meaning, yeah, we can't roundtable and dragon at the same turn, but every other card combination you can play and play roundtable. And so that gives it a lot of value in this deck in particular. And so, yeah, I'm running it a 2 of. Seems good. I always seem to have 1 then when I really need it. And so, yeah, good card. I'm going to keep this at 2 of for now and see how it pans out in more of my testing. We're running 3 copies of Rad Beam. You could argue to try to run it at 4 of, maybe drop like a Kid Killer, or maybe drop, I don't know if there's anything else I would really drop. Maybe Karas down to 3, but yeah, 3 seems to be okay for now. I generally only needed 1 or 2 in the game to kind of close it out, and so to not die rather before closing it out. And so I'm keeping it at a 3 of for now. We'll see how that goes. And then we're also running 2 copies of Fire Fist, and so this is just kind of like a minier version of Roundtable, in that you're giving one of your opponent's characters minus 4,000 power, and then if your life has 2 cards or less, KO one of your opponent's characters with the cost of 0, or with the power of 0 or less. And so this is really cool because you can do tricks. I don't know if you guys remember, but you can give minus 4,000 power to one character and then still KO a different character like Rebecca, which is still pretty prominent in all of the black decks. And so very good way to cost reduce, play into board, and KO a Rebecca. And it just enables Lindbergh to hit a little higher. So you can also combine this plus like Koala, and now Lindbergh's KOing a 10k power character. And so, yeah, there's some strong combos in this deck. I'm running it a 2 of. Seems good for now. And so, with that being said, let's get into some gameplay. Alright guys, so we have a Magic against Black Yellow Luffy. I will choose to go second so that he's not playing on a super strong curve. Let's see, we have... I'm going to mulligan. I want a kind of different starting hand for this. I do want to see some of my other cards that'll help me set up and go a little bit wider earlier. So we do have the Chaka now. I'm just going to pass it over to the Luffy player. We'll see if he starts taking his own life. We're generally not too worried about getting our board KO'd because of Sabo effect. So I'm pretty confident I can kind of slow play and just establish my board as I please. And even if he does establish something like a 10-drop Kuzan, I'm not too worried. So I'll take the first hit. We get the dragon, so we have a good late game finisher. Here I will, I'm gonna choose to play out, so I'm gonna swing 5 first, and then I'm gonna play out my Borsellino. Just to establish a blocker that can't be removed by an effect, and is a little bit sticky. So he does a search for the Garp. He reveals the Sabo, so he's picking up his pieces. He already had 3 searches so far, so he's getting the hand that he needs. But that's okay. We will continue to play this as is. He's going to swing big here, attaching the rest of his Dawn. I'll take this as well. Alright, so here I will decide to drop the Chaka. I will put the Chaka there, and then we'll just swing 7 with my Sabo and pass over. We'll keep him at 2 life from now on, and then I'll just start establishing a wider board, and then start threatening lethal from there. He does have a lot of cards in hand, but that's okay. The Hina is going to be great in this matchup, especially because a lot of the brothers are all 5 cost, and so she will be able to prevent 2 people from attacking, blocking 1, and preventing the other from swinging in. So definitely want to establish that by the end game. If he does end up taking his life here, I can start stripping a lot of cards from his hands, which is great. Here we have 8 Dawn. I will... So we can summon 2 things out and still have Dawn to recycle. So that's what we'll do. We'll summon an Emporio. I will put 1 here. Use his effect to give Emporio that. And I will cheat out the Karasu. And then I'll put 2 onto Sabo and then just pass over. So now we're building that wide board that we want, forcing him to take his own life if he wants to go down to 0. And I still have 1 up for Radbean here. We are feeling pretty okay about this current position. We'll see how the rest of this plays out though. So he will drop the Egghead Luffy, and I will use this card action to prevent him from getting KO'd. Great, he's playing the Hiyori. Probably gonna establish that Sabo now and try to sit at 7k. That is fine. We are okay with that. think this upcoming turn, we're gonna go pretty aggressive into the Luffy. So I'll block, and I'll give it 2k. And I'll give one more 2k here. Great, so we have a lot of options here. So first things first, let's deploy the dragon, and then give 2 to Karasu. We're gonna swing and lower him down to a 6k. We're going to keep going. Grants 2 rested here. We're gonna swing 7. Great, he keeps blocking, that's fine. Or countering, we are getting a lot of cards out of his hands. And here, I think I will pivot to the Luffy character. And then we'll pass over to him. So right now we're feeling really good. He still has 1 life here, meaning he can't use his leader ability Moria combo. We got rid of the Luffy, meaning he can't take his own life without dropping something valuable. And so he might just be fishing here. Oh, okay, that's a pretty smart play. He's able to play the Gecko Moria into the Flampe, take his last life, and now he's able to leader ability. Does he have a Sabo though to put into his life? I'm not sure. Does not look like it. So it looks like he's just gonna have to put in 2 like Luffy's and either or Ace. In which case we are hard chilling. Even if he swings here, we just say no blocker, resolve attack, and save it with my leader ability. And now we are in an even better spot. I don't know how we lose this one. So what we'll do is we'll put 2 onto Karasu, swing and lower him down to 4. Yeah, and he concedes. Alright, next we have a Moria match. We will choose to go second for now. I'm actually okay with this hand. We do have some unKOable things, so we'll keep it. Nami is just going to get KO'd, but again, we'll just establish her anyway and force the opponent to KO it. So he won't drop a Perona, he'll have to use an Absalom here. If he does want to KO it, saving us 1 card, but I guess netting us 0. We'll take this first hit, that's fine. Okay, we will swing 5 at the Moria. And then we will establish a blocker of our own and say pass. So that's 1 Absalom used. I'm probably going to try to keep this one on board so that he doesn't get to recycle it. He'll swing 5, we'll block that. He'll swing again, and we will counter with the Nami. She will not be as of much use. We'll play out the Hina, and then we'll just swing 6 at the leader. Okay, and we'll pass back over. In hindsight, I might have been okay to swing with the Bourse here as well, because I do have the Hina blocker out now, but That's okay. It might have been a little hard to defend it if he chose to go commit into it. Here he does choose to Ice Age. We will use our card action to save it because we have quite a few 2Ks. Even if he does attack, I feel pretty confident that we can save it. So we'll counter out of that one. And I'm actually going to take this one. Here we do have the Fire Fist, but we also have a dragon that we can summon. So I'm going to opt to play the dragon and be ultra aggro. We will just try to keep pressure up. We do have a lot of 2Ks again, and a blocker that can block 2 attackers from attacking. Let's see, he'll have 1, 2, 3. You have quite a few swings in. So let's get rid of this Absalom for now. I think we will take this opportunity to make sure he can attack without having to give up any counter here. I guess I did let him cycle this Absalom, but again, it's okay because we just get the free block from my leader ability. What is he doing here? Here, I think we will go pretty aggressive. One, two, three, four. 1, 2, 1, 2. 7, 7, 7, 7. That seems pretty good. Maybe I should go 6 because I do want to leave one up for Rad Beam. Yeah, that's what we'll do. We'll leave one up for Rad Beam. We'll go 6 in this next one. Or does he just die here? We'll pass over. We're in a really good spot. We still have our Hina blocker. We have a one Rad Beam and 3 2Ks. So we're hard chilling right now. He will choose to swing in which case I think I will choose to, let's see. I can block, give a 2K, and prevent one more swing. That seems pretty good. I'll give him a 2K. Still have leader ability. I still have a ton of counters. I don't think he can swing over this. So here I won't block, but I will give a Rad Beam. And I think we just secured the game, if I'm correct. He does have 7 Dawn. Okay, we'll just give it 2K. He's swinging for all the wrong numbers here. Yeah, he concedes. It's just too much attrition that this deck can do, and it can trade too efficiently into black.